Namaste. This particular routine I created specifically to help people who are having trouble falling asleep or having issues sleeping on a more regular basis, like insomnia. The more you do this routine, the more it will work for you, especially in insomnia cases. But this will also hopefully help you as well if you're just needing something really quick to help you relax to get to sleep. It is all what you put into it as well. So the more that you can release your active mind, because usually it's the active mind and stress and anxiety and things that are keeping us from relaxing enough to sleep. So the more that you can release as we're working through some of the more aggressive poses, the more it's going to work for you, and the more that you relax at the end, it's going to help as well. So I'm in my pajamas right now. So this is something you can definitely do in your PJs if you like. And you can do this right before you go to bed. I would suggest the first several poses we do on the mat, but there's two specifically at the end that you can actually get in bed and do as you're trying to fall asleep. But these first few poses, this first little bit of the routine is really about focusing the mind and the breath, releasing things that's going on in your mind, releasing stress and anxiety so you can relax enough to get some rest. All right, so first of all, we're going to start in what I call fire log pose. And basically you're taking one foot, putting it over the knee, and the knee over the other foot. And we're going to do this on each side. And doing this specific pose because it requires a little bit more effort to get here. Now, if your knee's up a little bit, you can try and push it down just a bit, but not too much. Basically, what you're wanting to do is like a comfortable discomfort. The more you do this pose, the more comfortable it'll get. If you can't get into this pose at all, you can do the cross-leg pose. But this is going to give you a little bit more effort with your mind to keep it. And that's what we want to do. We want to draw our mind to our practice and keep it on our practice and not on all the other things keeping you awake. So we're going to go into fire log pose and we're going to breathe. We're going to inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And inhale and exhale. And as you're doing these inhales and exhales, you're kind of bringing some peace and calmness to your mind and your body and your breath as you're breathing in. And as you're breathing out, you're just releasing all of the stress and anxiety and racing, tumbling thoughts that might be going on in your mind, and just letting them go so you can embrace some peace and quiet and calm. And breathe in some more. And out. And if you're in fire log pose, we're going to switch the other side. So the leg that was on top's on the bottom. The other leg's going to be on top. So we're foot to knee on both sides. And now we're going to breathe in and out. And in and out. And in and out. You're probably starting to feel a little bit more calm, aren't you? Starting to feel all that stuff that was sitting in your chest or weighing on your mind, starting to just release and let go as we focus on our breath and focus on bringing in that peace and calmness into ourselves so we can relax and rest and just be. Now we're going to go into cross-legged pose. Now we're going to do a little stretching to the side, just to get our sides a nice little twist. It helps us to detox a little bit with the organs, allowing them to release and let go. And I have this hand at the small of my back, and just breathe, allowing all the tension to release. Now we're going to come back to center, and we're going to do this on the other side. Again, just focusing on the breath, allowing the twist to help detox our inner organs and give us a nice stretch in our side muscles and back. We're breathing. And come back to center. Now we're going to do our hands up over our head. And I'm going to take my fingers and unlace them, and palms up to the ceiling. And then I'm just going to bend to one side as far as I can comfortably go, and breathe. Come back to center. Now let's do this on the other side. There you go. And back to center. All right, so now we're going to come up to our hands and knees for a moment. Get situated here. We have a nice flat back here. This is tabletop. We'll hold this for a moment. And then we're going to go onto our elbows. We're going to move into extended puppy. So you're going to kind of scoot your elbows to the top of your mat. Scoot your bottom down a little bit. The goal is to try and get your chest and your forehead all the way to the mat. This is stretching out your upper back, letting go of any tension or stress that you have that you keep in your upper back or shoulders. As you breathe, imagining yourself letting all of that go. And now we're going to push back down into child's pose. So you may need to extend your knees a little bit so you can comfortably sit back as far as you can onto your heels, bottom to the heels if you can. And then you're going to stretch out your arms all the way to the front so you can get your forehead to the mat. And breathe. Since we stretched out the upper back, now we're stretching out the lower back. All right, now we're going to go into a couple more aggressive poses. This is simply to allow us to get rid of any remaining stress or anxiety we might be having. Also to help us focus on our movement instead of what's going on in our mind. So we're going to go into downward dog. Heels as far to the ground as we can so we can stretch out the hamstrings. Arms nice and straight. We have our bottom coming up to a V with our hips back in the rear. Neck is nice and long. We're going to hold this for a few breaths. And now we're going to go and move into Cobra. So you're just going to put your body down with the flats of your feet down, and then you're going to be pushing up and back with your arms, arching your back a little bit for Cobra. All right, so we're going to go back and forth between downward dog and Cobra a few times. allowing our bodies to stretch, our backs, our lower back, our upper back. Get some stretch in our arms and our legs. And as we're moving, when you're inhaling, inhale calmness and peace and rest. And as you're exhaling, let's get rid of all that tension and stress, all the thoughts that might be whirling around in your brain. Now we're going to go into downward dog. Hold it for a moment. And then we're going to bring a foot forward. We're going into high lunge. So basically we're going to keep our foot here. We're going to actually come up on our toes in the back. Bring the other foot forward. This is kind of like warrior one, but the footing in the back is going to be different. You're actually going to be up on your toes. And here you want your knee and ankle to be lined up. And bring up your arms like so. This is considered a high lunge. And you're going to have a lot more stretch in the back with the high lunge versus the warrior one. By now, your heart's probably pumping pretty good, and that's good because we want to be tired. We want to tire ourselves out a little bit, but we also want to use this moment, this time, to really help push out any leftover stuff that's going on that's keeping you from getting your proper rest. Now we're going to come down onto back knees like so. If you have a yoga block, you can bring it over. We're going into lizard lunge. And so the key with this is to have your knee down and a good angle. And then have the block so you can put your elbows down so you can go a little further. If you can't get down that far, you can stay here. And this should be a 90-degree angle over here if you need an angle. So you can stay here, allowing yourself to get that nice stretch there in your hamstrings or your quads. Or you can go a little bit lower with the block. And this is really good to help just breathe out any tension you may have left, any stress. Just let it all go. Let it all leave. All right, so now we're going to do the high lunge on the other side. So we're going to come over. Left foot forward, right back. Be on your right back, right toes. And come up, hands up. All right, now we're going to come down to lizard lunge on the other side. So you just want to make sure you have a nice good angle from knee all the way up to hip in the back leg. This leg, knee and ankle, 90 degrees. And you can stay here on your hands, or if you want a little bit more of a stretch, you can come down on forearms. And hold this pose and breathe. All right, so we're done with the block for now. We're going to put that aside. And now that we got our heart pumping really good and releasing all this stuff that's holding us back from getting our rest, we're going to go into a child's pose. and kind of bring ourselves back down. And give us a chance to rest and stretch out our back a little bit. Okay, we're going to come back up into a seated position, into staff pose. We're going to just sit here for a moment with our spine straight as we breathe and bring ourselves back down into more steady calmness. We're going to do a little bit of a cool down, and then we're going to start really relaxing so we can get some rest. So now we're going to bend forward into forward seated fold. And now we're going to come all the way back to the floor. And you can do this pose, we're doing legs up the wall. I suggest doing a pose with a block because it's going to help you when you have your legs up above your heart and your heart above your head. It's really good for detoxing the body. And sometimes we've got so much stuff going on in our body, we need to get rid of it before we can get some good rest. Just need to let it go. This is also good for helping us to reach a deeper relaxation. As we try and move into a more restful state so we can get some sleep. Now, if you don't have enough time or you don't feel like doing this whole routine, this is one pose you can do for an extended period of time by itself. It's going to really help you relax so you can get some sleep. So basically you just do this pose, but you do it for like 5 minutes. Allowing yourself to relax as you're in this pose. And you can do this with an actual wall, and it's more restorative for you. It's a little more helpful, but you can do it without a wall. And you can do it without the yoga support, the yoga block support. It's just recommended to do it with the block because it's a little bit better for you. If you don't have a block, you can roll up a blanket and put it underneath there as well. Alright, so I'm going to bring my legs down, my block away. I usually like to roll around my back a little bit to release that. And now I'm going to do a spinal twist. So I'm going to take the knees to one side. And I can't get my arm all the way out, but your arm should be all the way out on both sides because my wall is like right here. And then you're going to look to the opposite direction where your knees are. And you're just going to allow yourself to release and relax. As all the tension in your back is released. And now we're going to come over to the other side and move your head to the opposite direction of your knees. Alright, these next two poses you can actually go ahead and get into your bed. We're going to do reclining cobbler's pose. You can get into bed and put the covers over you if you like. These are very easy to do underneath the covers. You're going to support your bottom with your hands, give you a little bit of support so you can open up your hips a little bit more as your knees fall down to the sides a little bit more. And we're just going to focus on breathing and relaxing and allowing. Focusing mainly on our breath as we inhale and exhale. And we're melting our bodies into our mattress and our pillow. It feels good to have that comfort and softness around us. It's like relaxing into a cloud. Now we're going to move into Shavasana. So basically we're just going to bring our legs down and lay flat, palms up, and breathe. And you can even start at your head and allow your head to relax into the pillow just a little bit more. As you're exhaling, you're feeling your muscles release into the support of your pillow. Now we're at our shoulders, and it's time to relax your shoulders. As you exhale, allowing the muscles in your shoulders to relax into the bed. And our arms, as we breathe out, we let them just fall there on the bed. Just being, not moving, just relaxing. Our palms open for the rest that we want and need. And our torso is relaxed into the bed, using our breath out to go deeper into the mattress. And as we exhale, our hips are being released into the mattress. And we're moving down further into our body, to our legs, the back of our knees, allowing our breath to help us relax that part of our body even further. Allowing the tension there to be released. And now we're at the backs of our heels. And we're allowing our heels to completely rest. We're done moving and walking for today. Now it's time to relax and rejuvenate so we can greet tomorrow with freshness and vitality. And if any time you find your mind wandering back to those things that kept you awake, it's keeping you awake, just come back to your breath. Come back to your body. Find a piece on your body, a part that needs to be relaxed. Sometimes we hold tension in different parts of our body. So do scan your body for a moment and see if there's any other places that need to be relaxed just a little bit more. Breathe into that part of your body, and as you breathe out, allow it to relax further into the mattress. It feels good and it feels right. And it feels peaceful. All right, I hope this works for you. Sweet dreams. Namaste.